How's it going, everybody? My plans got fucked up for this whole whole franchise. Man, it started pouring rain out a few hours ago, and then just lightning, thunderstorms, everything. My Wi-Fi got knocked out. I ended up using my phone as a hotspot to connect my laptop to the hotspot. But for some reason, my PS5 wouldn't connect for some reason, and that's where I got Amazon Prime on, and so I wasn't able to see Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness tonight. But like I said in the first Evil Dead review, last night I watched the remake for like the first time since I saw it in theaters when it released. So I took notes then. So I'm doing this out of order now. We're going to be talking about the Evil Dead remake from 2013, directed by Fede Alvarez, who he did some other things after this. He did Don't Breathe a few years later, which I haven't seen that movie since it came out probably. And wasn't there a sequel to that he did too? I think there was. And didn't he also do like the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, or like one of the adaptations of that book, or the sequels, like the other books in the series, something like that. He's done a few things. And we have starring Jane Levy, who is gorgeous. What a gorgeous woman she is. And what a performance that she puts on in this movie. Like, she does such a great job. But I'll get into that in a second. But we get the opening with the girl running through the woods, and the guys capture her and bring her to the cellar, basement of the cabin, and she's with it pretty much this whole time until they have her tied up to a beam and stuff, and then we have like these people, specialists or something there, who speak in a different language. I don't know why, for some reason, when I first saw this in theaters, that I thought that this opening scene like took place like a century ago, like long before the events of this movie. Maybe it was just from like those specialist people who knew about the book and everything, like speaking a different language and everything, and just, I don't know, there was something that just made me think that this took place like a long time ago. But then when we see the group of friends arrive at the cabin and stuff, and they go downstairs and they see all the dead cats and everything, and the blood there and everything, and we know that this is Mia and David's mom's cabin, or a family cabin, because they said mom would hate to see it like this and stuff, and they haven't been there in a while. So it's obviously their cabin, or family's cabin. So what do these people just break into this cabin, like during the years that no one was going there, like in Mia's family, and just perform this whole cleansing and stuff of the daughter down in the basement? I don't know. I never, like I said, I thought it took place a long time before the events of this movie. But it was a disheartening scene, man, when she's just, because as the father says that she killed her mother, the daughter killed her mother, and she doesn't remember that. But obviously it's just the demon, the deadite inside, just trying to mess with his emotions like they do best in this whole franchise. And they're like this foreign language people are saying to just to burn her alive, to cleanse her soul. And that's exactly what he does, man. And can you imagine? I couldn't imagine. Like, I have a young daughter, but oh, dude, to have to fucking burn your daughter alive in front of you and then blow her fucking head off, like, oh, that's fucking terrible, man. That is such a grim fucking opening for this movie. But I would expect nothing less, because this movie is such a great remake. And I say remake because, to me, this is a fucking remake. Like, I've heard people argue that it's like a remake slash sequel, mostly because of, we get Bruce Campbell at the end after the credits and stuff with his little cameo and stuff, and they said, well, we see Ash, so this is in the same timeline. I don't think so. Not one bit. I think that's just a cameo from, it's not Ash, it's just Bruce Campbell himself saying groovy, And since he was, he's the star of this whole franchise and was producer with Raimi and Tapper on this movie, on this remake, that it was just a cute little cameo they threw in at the end. I don't read that much into it. That it's supposed to be Ash himself, the character, and that this like connects this movie to the past movies or anything. I mean, you could argue that, we get time travel and shit, like in Army of Darkness and everything, the end of Evil Dead 2 and all of Army of Darkness. So it could be like an alternate timeline or something like that if you want to get like Twin Peaks David Lynch-esque about it and stuff. But for me, this is a flat out remake, and it is an excellent remake. Like I said in the Evil Dead review, I said there's not many remakes from the 2000s onward until today that I really, really like. And except for this movie and like Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003, and like I said, there's probably a few other ones, but I couldn't remember. But yeah, he just sets her on fire and she's all ablaze and everything, and then he just blows her fucking head off, and then we just get the title card Evil Dead, and just great opening. What a good opening for this. Jane Levy's performance, like I was starting to say, is excellent in this movie. Like, she does such a good job playing Mia and also playing the Deadite, and like she just has something about her, man. Like the way that she has such beautiful eyes too, and like big eyes, and like it just works. Like when she is acting as the Deadite and stuff with the makeup and everything like that, she did an excellent job as that too, playing like both these roles. She did an amazing job. The only like truly great performance in this movie. Like, I don't mind any of the other actors. I think they do a fine job. None of these characters besides Mia and Eric, I really like Eric, the high school teacher and stuff with the long hair. Really like his character. Besides that, like, everyone else is alright. David, the brother, is okay, like, character-wise, like, but I don't find most of these characters memorable. And like I said, this is an excellent remake, but I do have minor gripes with it, but I'll get into that also. The dog's name is Grandpa. I don't know, that's weird to me. Like, sure, I've heard all types of crazy names for dogs and stuff, but just when she said it, was just like, Grandpa. And I was like, why would you name your dog Grandpa? I guess it's just an homage to your grandfather. Why not Soda? Soda. It's bubbly. It's refreshing. Fucking Costanza, man. The whole drug angle, I think, is great for this movie. Like, the whole idea that they're going and taking Mia to this cabin for her to kick heroin, and that they mentioned that she's done it before and made the same promises, and she just lasted only like a few hours, like 8 hours, 9 hours, something like that. I think it was like 8 hours, and caved and everything, and now they want to just have her there and not let her leave. And I think it plays very well, that whole concept and premise of her being a dope addict and stuff, and kicking and withdrawing in this cabin. Because like in the first movie, which is, the most horror of the original 3 movies and the TV show. But this movie is like by far the most like serious and horror in tone, and for sure. But up until this remake, it was the original, and then we had just a lot more comedy come in with Evil Dead 2, and then even up the ante so much more with Army of Darkness. And so it's going to be interesting going from the first movie and this remake to rewatching Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness tomorrow. Like, it's going to be interesting to watch them in this order like that. But the whole drug angle makes sense. Like, to me, like, I thought that was a clever idea, because in the first movie, stuff like after Cheryl turns into a Deadite for the first time, and they all see this, and like they still like hang around and stuff. They don't like immediately let's get the fuck out of here. Like this whole drug angle explains that, like why they don't leave, because she's withdrawing from dope. So she's coming off heroin. She's in withdrawals. So like all the shit that happens to her is explained by her being in withdrawals and going through all these fucking, hallucinations, and just everything can be explained that way. And it explains why they don't take her seriously and don't just book the fuck out of there immediately. It's because they assume and just say that she's kicking dope and she's coming off fucking these drugs. And I just think it's a clever angle. I know a lot of people who don't care for it. I think it works great. Like, I really do. I think it was a clever idea to work that whole, detoxing drug angle in on the main character in this movie. I like the whole, the tension and, distance between David and Mia, because she was there in the mental asylum or mental hospital. We find out, near the end of the movie that she was just completely crazy, the mother, and severe mental illness and everything. And Mia was there with her when she was dying and when she died. And David just never came and just hid away from all of it. And then they've been estranged brother and sister for what seems like a few years at least now. And I thought that was a nice little touch too when they bring that back near the ending and stuff to fuck with David's mind, and very well done. And with the little baby lullaby and stuff that she mentions at the beginning, saying you remember mom singing this and everything, and then that comes back into play later. Very good stuff. Very very clever little touches. Why is it such a surprise to David that Mia's overdosed? I don't get that. She's a heroin addict. Heroin addicts OD all the time. Especially nowadays with this fentanyl, that shit in everything. Not even just heroin, there's everything nowadays. You keep hearing about it being cut into all drugs. So why is he so surprised when he's when she OD'd? You couldn't that wasn't a possibility in your mind, thinking your sister could have OD'd being a heroin addict? I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me. But I noticed that the first time I saw this in theaters, and then I rewatched it and I said the same thing. I said, really? He doesn't even consider that, or never considered that as an option, that she probably has OD'd once, if not numerous times, over whatever amount of years that she's been using. I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me. This whole film is absolutely gorgeous. Just to look at, to watch. The cinematography in this movie is great. It is such a beautiful looking film to look at. I mean, I say beautiful in just like I said, the cinematography way and the way that it's filmed and everything like that. I mean, obviously it is grotesque as shit. There is such great gore in this movie, that I'm surprised this movie got an R rating. There is so much blood and so much gore in this movie that it's great. It's so fucking good. I like how Eric is, like I said, he's probably my second favorite character in this movie besides Mia. And I like how they mention that he's a high school teacher, and that kind of explains why he's so into reading the book and the Necronomicon and everything. And that when they first mention the voodoo shit in the basement, he's no, voodoo is more dolls and stuff, this is more witchcraft and stuff. They never say what he teaches in high school that I know, unless I missed something, but I don't think I did. I think they just mentioned in the very beginning he's a high school teacher. But it makes sense. Whatever he does teach or whatever or is into, he makes sense. He's a high school teacher and would probably just be at least very interested in this type of shit, coming across this book and everything. or even more so that maybe what he teaches is something to do with like the occult studies or stuff. We don't know. We never get any more background on that. But I thought that's cool. Um, Also having Olivia there, the registered nurse and stuff, also a good little idea, but it kind of goes nowhere because she's killed like immediately after like shit starts really going down. So like, I mean, I feel like that was a missed opportunity. Like you could have had a registered nurse there to like be healing people and stuff like throughout this movie instead of fucking David using fucking duct tape on everything. That's so stupid. Fucking duct tape on everything, man. Reminds me of like Chris Rock when they said like when we were kids and stuff, like we had no medicine. It's like Robitussin, it cured everything. It's like, oh, my back hurts, Robitussin. Like, I got cancer, Robitussin. It's like duct tape. It fucking fixes everything. Fucking severed arms and shit. Just put some duct tape on it. It'll be fine. I love the look of the Necronomicon in this movie. Like, I like the added touch that it's wrapped in like plastic and then barbed wired over it, and like just how it looks much more like its skin, like human skin grafted around the book and everything. Like when Eric opens the book and stuff, you see like the skin folded over and like pressed in, like pressed down and stuff, like to really bind it in human flesh. It's a really cool look for the Necronomicon. That's the only thing I like about it, the book in this movie, and I'll get to that. And who the fuck would read this book? I mean, come on. I mean, even in the original, it's ridiculous. It's just like with all the shit they hear on the tape in the original, with the guy who did the research on the Kandarian book and demons and the Necronomicon and everything, and the guy still reads from the, they were just playing the passage and stuff where it repeats the phrase. This, he's reading it out of the Necronomicon, and just seeing everything that you see down in that basement with fucking dead cats and shit all over the place and blood like leading down to the cellar, and then like the post is burnt to a crisp, and then you find this creepy ass book with all these drawings inside of it in blood, and there's literally warnings saying don't read this, like don't read, don't listen, don't hear it, like so many warnings, and this guy still reads the fucking passage that like brings the Deadites out. That's stupid. And like I said, I love this movie, and I said in the Evil Dead review, I said I can't really nitpick much in that movie, like the little observations and stupid things, just out of respect for how much I love that film and how much I love Raimi. Like out of respect for Raimi. He didn't direct this though. He produced it, with Tappert and Campbell, but didn't direct or write it. So it's free game for this one. Like, but come on, you just reading all this like with big ass fucking writing in human blood saying do not read. Like that wasn't even necessary. Like to have those warnings written in there. Just the book alone should just be like, I'm not fucking reading anything from this. Are you serious? Come on. That's a little ridiculous. We have that great shot. I love this shot when Mia's outside in the rain and she pukes and stuff while she's, in heavy withdrawals, and then she looks into the woods and we see the demon Mia, and that's the one thing I don't understand. Like, is it just like Mia's subconscious and stuff projecting herself onto this, like, because in this movie they say that like this demon needs 5 souls to like resurrect from hell and stuff like that, so it's like a specific demon. So is this her seeing this demon but just like herself being projected onto, to look like herself, or is it just like part of her withdrawals and that she's seeing shit as herself? I don't know. It's interesting, but I love that shot when she's just there and she looks in the woods and she just sees herself, like demon herself, like in the woods and everything. That's such a cool shot. And then we get our third rape by tree scene, except this one is totally different and really fucking disturbing, man. Like, she gets stuck in the thorns and stuff, and the trees are the vines and stuff are wrapping around her and everything. And then she sees, dead-eyed Mia in front of her, and the dead-eye just spits out this black sludge, like worm fucking thing, and it just crawls up her leg and totally up inside of her, and like, assumedly it's just inside her the rest of the movie. So I'm guessing this is what possesses her and stuff. And I don't know. It's a very, very disturbing scene. It's very well done. I really, really like how they changed it up from Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. And poor Grandpa, man. The poor dog had to die. Like I said, they should have named him Soda. He would have had a much more bubbly presence, and he might have not gotten killed. Who knows? And we have Mia standing in the scalding hot shower, and she turns the temperature all the way up, and she just burns herself severely and stuff, and like the effects on her face, and great stuff. Like, really, really cool. And now this is probably my biggest gripe with the movie, is the voice of the Deadites. I can't stand it. I really don't like what they did with the voices of the Deadites in this movie. Like, even like some of the lines they say and stuff, it doesn't feel like Evil Dead. It just doesn't to me. I don't know. Like, every time I hear the voice of the Deadites in this movie, like the crazy laughing and stuff is fine, and like the weird sound and growls and stuff like that, fine. But every time they actually speak, I just don't like it at all, man. Like, I don't know. I do not care for it one bit. It kind of reminds me of like the Jigsaw killer in Spiral, Book of Saw. How they changed that to like the weird female voice and stuff like that instead of, John Kramer's iconic voice. Like, it reminds me of that a little bit. But just like the way that they made the Deadeye voice, I do not care for one bit. And just that little thing being like my biggest nitpick with this movie and gripe with this movie shows how great this movie is, because it's not that big of a gripe. But it's enough that like every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh, come on. Like, they could have done so much better. That entire sequence with Eric finding Olivia in the bathroom, and she had the glass and cut her fucking face and shit, her mouth open and everything, and he slips on like part of her mouth and hits himself on the toilet, and then she comes with the fucking needle, and the way that the way that Deadites move and stuff in this movie, excellent. So good. And the way they look, excellent. Very, very good. Like, I love the look of them, the prosthetics, and I'm sure there's some CGI in there, but like their eyes and everything, and just the whole appearance of the Deadites and stuff in this movie, and the way they jerk and move and stuff like that, amazing. Very, very well done. And takes the glass and stabs Eric in the chest, and then starts taking the fucking hypodermic needle and just stabbing him repeatedly, and like just the way that's shot, like with just like the jerkiness of it, just like going into his glasses and stuff and hitting his glasses, and then it goes into like right below his eye, and he has to pull the needle out, and like, oh man, like that's eye shit does get me a little bit. Like, it does. I don't know why I'm such a huge Fulci fan, because he's, that's his fucking thing. And it doesn't really bother me in his movies. Maybe it's just, the type, the effects and stuff used and the way it's shot, but for some reason, like this movie, with this scene with him pulling the needle out below his eye like that, oh dude, it's like, do not get me started with that shit. And then he takes the porcelain fucking toilet cover and just beats her fucking face in and stuff. Dude, what a great sequence. Like, probably my second favorite scene and sequence in this movie. Like, so good. Like, so fucking good. The sound design also in this movie is excellent. Really, really great stuff. Like, there's really not a lot I can say bad about this remake, which is amazing to me. And, yeah, if I sound tired, man, I'm fucking beat. It's like 2 in the morning. And like I said, we had this fucking storm all night, and I've been trying to get my Wi-Fi working and everything. I'm gonna pass out after this review. And I'll have Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness up tomorrow. But, and like they changed the rules for killing the Deadites, and, you know, like in the first film and stuff, it was just bodily dismemberment. You know, that was the way of killing the Deadites. And then in this one, that's still one of the rules, but they have also that, you know, cleansing by fire or purification by fire, as Eric reads, and the live burial, which we see Ash, you know, try to bury Linda in the first movie and everything, but it was never cited as like a way of, you know, like casting the demon presence out of these people, which is fine. Like, I don't mind the rule change, but what are even the fucking rules for this whole franchise? Like, it's so inconsistent. Like, it's like I said, this is one of my favorite franchises in horror ever, and the first movie is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. But the continuity between all of the movies and the TV show and stuff, it's so fucked up. Like, between everything, and they're all so different tone wise and everything. Like I said, like the first one is more just straight up horror. The second one is a lot more zany and comedic and slapstick, and then the Army of Darkness is even more so and more like action, fantasy, horror. And then this one's just straight up fucking disturbing horror and stuff. But like the continuity between all the movies, and I've said before, like I'm huge on continuity. That's why the Saw franchise is one of my favorite franchises in horror, because the attention to fucking detail in that series and the continuity is astounding to me. Like, and it really, if you watch all this first 7 Saw movies, like back to back to back to back, you would think that they wrote this whole story from beginning to end and had it all pre-planned and everything, when they didn't. They just, you know, wrote each installment every year and released a new one every year for 7 years. But it does not seem that way at all when you watch the Saw series, like in order, like from beginning to end. It seems like it was just planned out the whole way, and the attention to detail and the continuity and everything is just phenomenal in that series. A lot of people hate on Saw, man, and use the stupid fucking made up term torture porn and stuff. Fuck you. Fucking Saw is fucking amazing. But I'll save that for when I do Saw, because I will definitely be doing that soon. But yeah, it's like, what are the rules, man? What are the rules? I don't know. There's just so much shit that changes throughout this whole franchise. It's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, how these things work, how these Deadites possess people, how they get killed, how they're, you know, purified and taken, this demonic presence is taken out of these people, or anything like that. It's just not explained at all. It's just completely different from film to film, and that's fucking fine with me, because like I said, I fucking love this whole franchise, so it does not matter to me. Just a little nitpick. The whole scene with Mia in the basement, in the cellar, and Natalie comes down, and then she takes the box cutter out to like defend herself, and Mia licks the box cutter with her tongue, and her tongue splits, and awesome, dude, such awesome stuff. And then she comes up after splitting her tongue, and she like forcibly kisses Natalie and stuff like, oh, that's fucking nasty, man. That's some disgusting shit. And again, like the book doesn't burn in this movie like it does in the original, which is fine. You know, it's a cool little change. They can burn the book, and like, but again, like, what are the rules? Like, what are the rules? I don't know. And then we have like 5 souls that this specific demon entity, whatever, has to collect so it can resurrect itself. Like, why 5? Like, what if they showed up with like 7 people? Then, like, doesn't that throw like everything off? And they're like, two. I guess he would still resurrect and then just kill off the other 2. Or like, I don't know. I have no idea what the rules are. I have no fucking clue. But it is still amazing. And then we get this stupid fucking comment. Like, the way that, like, this is why I like Eric's character a lot in this movie, because he knows what's going on, like, from the fucking get-go. Like, as soon as the weird shit starts, as soon as that whole scene with him with Olivia in the bathroom, and he has to kill her and stuff when she's attacking him and cut her fucking face and her mouth off and stuff, he knows exactly what's going on. And David is so stupid that it, like, still doesn't understand. Like, after he's seen so much insane shit that cannot be explained, still is asking, he's like, all those dead cats in the basement and stuff, like, maybe they had some disease or virus that spread to Mia, and then she puked all over, what's her name, Olivia, and it transferred to her, a fucking disease, dude, from a cat. Like, what? And like Eric says, and he's straight up, he's like, what disease makes you cut off your own fucking mouth? Like, exactly, fucking, come on, like, that's a little stupid too. A fucking disease from cats, dead cats downstairs, that's so stupid. And going back a little earlier, I love when like, Mia first comes out with the shotgun and she ends up shooting David, and then again, the way that she just moves and twitches her head and like her body and stuff like that, so well done. And shoots David and stuff, and then she gets on top of Olivia and just pukes just an insane amount of blood all over her, like in classic Raimi fashion, just completely over the top. Love that, so awesome. Then we have Natalie's when she's in the basement and stuff, and Mia splits her tongue and stuff, and then she bites her hand, and then we get like a nod to Evil Dead 2 with the possessed hand and everything. That whole sequence also, like, and then we have like when her hand's first like starting to get all fucked up and possessed and stuff, and then they're showing shots of Mia like holding the cellar door open, just like in the first movie with Cheryl down there, and she's like looking through and like holding it up and stuff. Great shot, really cool. And then she takes that electric like cutting knife and stuff and just cuts her arm off, man. And then like, not even that, she just cuts her arm off right then and there. And then when Eric and David come in and she's standing in the corner and she's like, I feel better now, I had to do it. And then her arm is still attached, and then it just fucking slips off and falls to the ground and shit, and the tendons are ripping off. Amazing. Fucking the gore in this movie is so good. So fucking good. It is so fucking over the top, and it's still, but it's like realistic looking. Like, it is pretty damn realistic. Like, it really is. Like, this is, and that's why this remake is just like the most straight horror film in the franchise. Like, the gore is absolutely amazing in this movie. The blood, the effects, amazing. Let's see here. Then blah 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 blah. And like I said, with the duct tape, fucking, you putting fucking duct tape on your girlfriend's stub where her arm used to be. Get the fuck out of here! Come on, you had nothing else around. Like, you had a registered nurse there. You couldn't go through her shit and see when Eric got stabbed in the bathroom by Olivia. He found like he had alcohol to pour over it, and he had a bandage to put on him and stuff like that, and then he duct taped over it and stuff. But like, they didn't think to go through Olivia's shit and think that maybe she had a whole bunch of better equipment to like patch people up than fucking duct tape. Come on, that's so stupid. That's so dumb. The whole duct tape thing is just fucking stupid, man. And we get the nail gun and stuff, which is another great scene. And then, man, fucking Eric gets fucked in this movie, man. Like, I feel so bad for this guy. Like, he gets the most shit out of everyone. He fucking gets stabbed in the chest with the glass, and he gets the fucking needle jammed into him a bunch of times. And then he gets the fucking nail guns and stuff shot at him, and then more shit later on. Like, he gets fucked up in this movie. I feel so bad for that guy. Jesus, man, he like really like gets it. Like everyone else gets off pretty much fucking easy. They just end up getting killed and stuff. He's just tortured through this movie, man. Absolutely crazy what happens to him. And she's shooting the nail gun at Eric and David and stuff, and then she comes up with the tire iron and fucking like Friday part 4, Jason's hand split in half style with the tire iron. She swings it down, and it splits Eric's hand open. Like I'm saying, he gets completely annihilated in this movie. It's absolutely crazy. And then David picks the shotgun up, and just blows her other arm off and stuff. Awesome. Like, so good, man. So fucking awesome. And then, David goes to burn the cabin down and everything, and we hear that little lullaby and stuff, the little baby thing with Mia singing it and stuff to fuck with his head. Great stuff. I love how they bring that back. What is David, like fucking MacGyver, man? Like, we get like no backstory on him at all, like what he does for a living or anything. But the way he like makes that homemade defibrillator and everything with a car battery and 2 syringes and fucking like all of that, come on, like get out of here. It's not inconceivable, but like in the moment and like after everything you've seen and everything you're have gone through and the pain that you're in from fucking, he was shot, he was fucking with the nail gun, fucking a bunch of nails shot into him and everything and stuff, and he's that quick to fucking just make a homemade defibrillator and a whole bunch of shit that happens to just be there at this cabin. Get the fuck out of here, that's so stupid. And again, Eric gets fucked up in this movie, man. It's so like tragic looking at this guy get tortured through this movie. When I mentioned earlier about the Necronomicon and how I love how it looks, but that's about it. I really don't like how they just keep showing pages from it that like show what just happened. Like, why? Like, what the hell is that all about? Like when they show Mia, or not Mia, but they show a woman, with the branches around her and stuff getting raped by the trees after that scene happens. And then they show a woman carving her fucking mouth off after that scene happens. And like after every like major event and stuff, there's a fucking page in the Necronomicon that has a picture of exactly that. Like, that's fucking weird. Like, I really don't like that. That did not work for me at all. I don't get what that means. I don't get why it's there. And like I said, the 5 souls. What if they came with a fucking group of 10? What if it was only 3 of them? What if it was just David and Mia? Like, I don't know. None of that makes sense. Again, the rules, man. What are the rules? What are the rules? I don't know. I guess we'll never find out. And then David, when he buries Mia and stuff and puts the plastic over her and stuff and buries her alive, I like how that added touch that he puts the plastic over her so like she doesn't suffocate and stuff when she's being buried alive. But like still, like you can fucking suffocate and shit just with plastic over your face. Just like how they always say with little kids and stuff, and make sure they don't put a plastic bag over their head and they can suffocate. So that was it. It was a nice idea, but it's also kind of stupid at the same time. I don't know. And then David, Eric reappears and stuff after it turns into a deadite, and he stabs David in the neck, and Mia comes back to life and stuff, and she's cleansed apparently. So her soul was taken, I guess. Because, like, when that thing comes out at the end, it looks like Mia again. Like, that's supposed to be that entity, right? That demon that needs 5 souls. and he gets 4 of them, and then Mia dies and comes back to life. So that means her soul was taken, right? Am I getting that right? I'm pretty sure I am. But I don't know what that means for Mia and stuff. But and then David blows up the cabin and kills himself and everything. And then we just have the entire ending sequence is phenomenal. Excellent. So fucking good, man. That whole ending sequence with the raining blood and like they should have had fucking Slayer playing right then and there. Fucking raining blood. Fucking, it's just such a great, just having that effect throughout the whole ending scene of just, I wonder how many gallons of fake blood they had to use for that whole ending scene. Like I totally forgot to look that up because I was thinking that when I was watching it last night. I was like, I wonder how many gallons of fake blood because I remember watching like 24 hours ago basically seeing the making of Evil Dead 2 and them saying like when they have what the fuck's his name? The blonde guy and stuff when he's getting pulled by Henrietta into the cellar and stuff that they said that they pumped like 40-50 gallons of blood. And that's just like in that scene of that movie. This is like raining blood for like a long ass time. I would love to know how much fake blood they were pumping and stuff through that rain machine and everything. That would have to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of gallons. And then we get she's being chased by the demon and stuff, and then we get the machete through the wall a few times and stuff, and it sticks in her leg and then like slides out slowly. Really cool stuff. Like I said, all the gore and everything in this is top notch in this movie. It's excellent. And then we get the fucking when she gets the chainsaw out and she ends up going back out to the truck and stuff and the demon's coming around to get her and she saws her fucking leg off and then the demon's crawling around and stuff because she has no leg and she's crawling around to get Mia and she lifts the fucking truck up and the truck just lands on her fucking arm and it's not like she has to cut her arm off, man. No, she fucking just pulls and rips her fucking arm off, man, and the tendons and stuff are stretching and just the bone rips and just amazing. Fucking so fucking good. Really just top notch, man. Just the gore, I can't say enough about the gore in this movie. Like it's so good. So good. And the end with the chainsaw and stuff when she just takes the chainsaw and just sticks it in the head of the demon and just the head splitting and stuff and just the way like she's jerking and stuff and moving on the floor with the chainsaw going through her and it gets like down to like the upper half of her body and she lifts it up and she splits in half. It's dude, so fucking good. And she sinks into the mud and stuff, apparently like going back to hell and with the whole cabin burning in the background and stuff. Like I said, this movie is just gorgeous to look at. Like the way that it's shot and everything. It's just a great looking film. It really is. And yeah, man, like that's the ending and what a great ending it is. But like, so yeah, Mia's dead, right? Like she's fucking missing her fucking arm, dude. And like she has to walk back to civilization. She would be dead so fast from blood loss and stuff like that. So she's dead, right? Like maybe that's why the whole soul thing and stuff. She did lose her soul, and because she was gonna die anyway or something. But yeah, she's fucking dead. Like there's no way. There's no way she's making it out of there. There's fucking no fucking phone that she can use to call for help. There's nothing. And who knows if the bridge is still flooded and everything. She's dead. And then we just have the credits, and then we get Campbell's little groovy fucking after credit sequence, which, like I said, I believe is just a little cameo from Bruce Campbell. Nothing to do with connecting this to the other movies, that this is just a straight up remake. And what an excellent remake this is. Absolutely very, very, very well done, which you cannot say about many remakes. Just in remakes in general, but like I said, like from the 2000s forward, I can only think of a few, and this is absolutely one of them. But yeah, it's been a crazy night trying to get this whole thing sorted in this franchise knocked out in order, so I had to do it out of order and everything, which is going to make it, like I said, more interesting to watch 2 and Army of Darkness tomorrow, and seeing it, the true like real horror ones first, then diving into the more slapstick, comedy horror and stuff of the other 2. So that'll be interesting. But all right, guys, I'm going to bed. Hope you guys have a good night as well. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.